Hello, in this video we'll see how to enable observability with OpenTelemetry on Strands, and we'll see how to view the trace on Langfuse. The code is going to be similar to what we've done in the previous exercise. We have the kubeconfig in ktrace.yaml, we have the files k8ismcpapp.py and also the k8ismcpagent.py. There's going to be a few modifications though in this file k8ismcpagent.py. We now have a new file called as settelemetry.py wherein we'll be setting the telemetry related credentials. This is actually a UV project. Last time we did not use UV, we have used pip directly to install the dependencies, but here we are actually using UV. If you need to get a project like this, you'll have to just do UV init. You can put UV init followed with a project name, for example, Strands Langfuse demo. When you do this, a layout like this will be created with the main.py, pyproject.toml and others. So once this project is created, you can actually copy the code and config that you've used in the previous video to this directory. Files such as k3s.yaml, k8ismcpagent.py, k8ismcpapp.py. So these three files can be copied as it is. The new file that we are actually creating for this exercise is this one. I'll just show you what it is. So code settelemetry.py. So we are actually using this file to load the environment variables as well as set up the Langfuse basic auth header and form the OTEL exporter OTLP headers from this. So we need two things in order to properly set up OpenTelemetry. One is the OTEL exporter OTLP headers, which is this in line number 17. And then we also need the OTLP endpoint. I'll just show you the .env.example that we are using for this, code.env.example. So in addition to the AWS credentials that we have used in the previous video, we are actually using a couple more. So one is the public key, which we can get from Langfuse Cloud, and then the secret key, which is also obtained from Langfuse Cloud. There's going to be this OTEL exporter OTLP endpoint, which is going to be this for Langfuse. So it's going to be cloud.langfuse.com/API/public/OTEL. So these three things can be obtained while you're actually generating the API keys for your project in Langfuse. I'll just show you where it is. So if you go to your organization, inside your organization, you can create a project. This can be done for free. And after that, you just need to go to the settings and you will be having a section called as API keys. This is where you can click and then you can add the API keys for your project. You will be able to create a pair, which is your public key as well as the secret key. Once you have them, you'll have to just populate your .env file. So going back to the settelemetry file, we are actually using the variables from this. So we are loading all the environment variables from the .env first using load.env. So this is over. And after that, we are actually forming the basic auth header for Langfuse using the public key and secret key pair. So we are actually encoding it with base64 and finally we are also decoding it. So from this, we are making the OTEL exporter OTLP headers. In order for you to send telemetry properly to an OTLP endpoint, you need two things. One is the OTLP endpoint itself, and then you need the OTLP header. So the header is actually formed using these two keys from Langfuse, and the endpoint is already given in line number 6 here. So once these two variables are there, the telemetry will be properly sent to the endpoint. And in order to generate telemetry from within Strands, we are using two lines of code here. One, we are initiating the object with the Strands telemetry class that we are importing in line number 5. And once we've created the object, we just need to set up the OTLP exporter for that. That's it. So this new file has been added here. So I told there are a few changes in this k8ismcpagent.py, right? I'll just show you that. So code k8ismcpagent.py. There's only a couple of changes. The first change is, if you see this, earlier we were actually loading the environment variables with load.env. We removed that complete logic because we are loading it in the settelemetry.py file in line number 9. So that is why we are only keeping settelemetry here and we removed load.env. And since we are running this here, we just need to import the file. So from settelemetry, import settelemetry. So once it is imported and once the function is run in line 27, what happens? The variables are loaded and the telemetry is also set using Strands. So this is done. Now coming down, there is one extra change that we have added in line number 54. We have added an extra trace attribute which will be visible in Langfuse. So we just gave it the name session.id, and this is going to be a randomly generated UUID. And for this reason, we are importing the UUID package in line number 9. These are the only changes in this file, not much. Now, as usual, we can go ahead and run the application with Streamlit. Before that, let me just activate my virtual environment. So source.venv will activate. So one thing to note, if it is the first time I'm going to add the dependencies, I can add it using uv-add. So I'll have to just put uv-add followed by the dependencies that I want. I'll just show you what is present in the pyproject.toml. So I have the Strands agents package with the OTEL extra, and the version that I'm using is 160, and for Streamlit I'm using 149. So if these dependencies are not present in PyProject, then I can actually add them by just saying uv-add and then this package like this. And I could also add in the second one the Streamlit package. Just copy this and put it here. We can do like this. But now, since we already have it in the pyproject.toml file, in my case, I'll just do a UV sync if I have to install the dependencies or sync the dependencies. Okay, done. Now let's try to run the application with Streamlit. Streamlit run k-mcp app.py. Go to Langfuse Cloud and see if there is any trace so far. So for the past 24 hours, there was one trace. Now let's go to Streamlit and let's try to send a sample prompt. Give me the list of deployments in tabular format. Okay, so we're getting response back from the agent. We can see if there is any new trace in Langfuse. Refresh. Okay, so the number is increased. Now we have 2 traces. Earlier it was 1 and now it is 2. Let's go to the tracing section here. And we see the traces. The one at the top is what we generated right now. We'll click on this. And we are able to get a lot of details like the spans or observations within this trace. This is one full trace, the time taken for each of these observations or spans. It is also giving you the tokens here, the input plus output. In Sigma they're saying the total number of tokens is 8906. It is also giving it for each observation or span. So here it says 3009 plus 119, which is going to be 3128 tokens. On the right, we also see the details, the prompt that was given by the user, and the response that came back from the assistant. Everything is basically captured. So in the code, we have given one extra attribute at the bottom. So we just gave trace attribute. We named it session ID, and this is just a random UUID. We can go back and see if this is also there. Let's scroll down, and there is this attribute section. Let's expand that. And here it is. So this is our session ID. So which means that each trace is going to have its own session ID. So there are also a lot of other options within Langfuse Cloud, like the dashboards here. We should be able to look at the cost and all that. We should also be able to look at the latency related information. So it is good to explore all the facilities given by Langfuse. Anyway, we have come to the end of this video. We saw how to enable observability from our Strands agents and how the data is actually coming down to Langfuse and what variables are required in order to initiate the connection with Langfuse. Hope this video was helpful and thank you so much for watching.